There are countless examples of megalithic structures around the world that are inexplicable if you don't assume that they were built with some kind of technology, some kind of lost technology, and that they were rediscovered much later by re-emerging human cultures such as the Maya, the dynastic Egyptians, the Indus Valley civilizations, etc. But there is more to it than that now. The surface of the Earth seems to be almost peppered with remnants of human activity, and often seemingly pretty advanced such. With LiDAR technology, hundreds of obviously man-made structures are being revealed underneath the canopy of the Amazon, the rainforest in the Amazon area. And a bizarre amount of new pyramids, besides those that have been known for a long time now, are being discovered in the jungles of Guatemala and Mexico. Scientists have also concluded that the very Amazon rainforest itself is, to a large degree, the result of plant cultivation by humans. How about that? Amazing. Simply by using Google Earth, one can find myriad strange structures both on land and on the seafloor. There are more and more Google Earth hunters, you might call them, out there, putting out videos on YouTube and on other platforms, showing these strange structures that they're discovering by way of this technology that everybody has access to, Google Earth. One fascinating series of videos showcasing hundreds of these anomalies is called Ruins of Earth, made by Gary Schoenung, or Gary Schoenung. I don't know exactly how he pronounces his name there. Put a link in the description. I think most of you have heard of the Rishat structure in Western Mauritania in the Sahara. It's in Western Sahara, in Mauritania in Western Sahara. It's a structure that many believe is an Atlantis artifact. Now, it was brought to my attention by one Mind the Shift viewer that there are at least 10 other circular structures all across the Sahara that, to a greater or lesser extent, look man-made, and in some cases even, have features compatible with Plato's Atlantis account. Fascinating stuff. I guess the elite that for thousands of years now have tried to conceal the true human history to the public, to the populace, they didn't count on that digital people that we're having right now with this new technology. I mean, talking about Google Earth, not least, but also LiDAR and other technologies that we have. We are approaching a paradigm shift. Here's the thought. Maybe the universe is solely collectively subjective. What do I mean by that? I mean that it consists of what our collective consciousness contains or can contain, and nothing else. I'll give you a couple of examples. In astrology, for instance, only the planets that have been discovered by humanity have an impact on humanity's consciousness, on our collective consciousness. So when Uranus was discovered back in 1781, I think it was, it began to have an impact on our consciousness, on our collective consciousness. And when Neptune was discovered some 100 years later, that planet started to have an impact. And then Pluto was discovered in 1930 and started to have an impact and an effect. Its energy started to affect our collective consciousness. And before that, they didn't exist in some sense. You see what I mean? Things only exist when those things are in humanity's consciousness. Another example is that the fact that there was a long, long period in this planet's history that was dominated by large, not to say huge, reptiles was, of course, completely unknown until the 19th century. But now dinosaurs are an integral part of our collective knowledge. So imagine the sea change when the existence of lost civilizations, or at least one lost civilization, perhaps many, becomes obvious and becomes mainstream, it will change everything. By the way, scientists now know that there is a giant ocean, or actually the equivalent of between 3 and 10, I think, oceans of water 700 kilometers beneath the surface of the Earth. It is locked into a mineral called ringwoodite. And it's not in the same state as we're used to seeing water on the surface. It's in a different state, but it's locked. It is H2O, and it's locked in this ringwoodite. And they also know that this water is released when pressure eases. And this fact strengthens the credibility of the many ancient flood legends. There are hundreds of them all over the place, which in turn are excellent circumstantial evidence that earlier civilizations may very well have existed and collapsed in some kind of cataclysm, or many cataclysms, whereof floods have been salient ones, because these legends tell us that. So we could basically say that we know that. As an aside, it is very interesting to look at all of this with an environmentalist filter. You know that it's all but normalized today to consider humanity as some kind of an anomalous virus that is mostly detrimental to the planet. It's often assumed that most bad things that can happen to Mother Earth are caused by humans, with climate change as the most popular example, of course. Concerned people show, nighttime satellite images of the Earth with those widespread artificial lights all over the place, and are shocked that there are hardly any natural areas left. And I can sympathize with that. I can resonate with that to some degree. But think of this. Now, if humans have been building things basically on every spot of the surface of this planet, every spot of the landmass of this planet over hundreds of thousands of years, and if Gaia has been able to take back those areas when civilizations have collapsed to the degree that we have thought it was all pristine, then doesn't that tell you that Gaia is pretty resilient after all? And that humanity and Gaia are in this together as partners, as different aspects of the same whole, as Sten Linander talks about in a recent episode on the podcast. So I really have this feeling that our true human history is not far from being exposed, being revealed, being disclosed. Finally, it will shake us, probably almost as deeply as the first unequivocal evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. And it's, I guess, a toss-up which of the two will come first. I only wonder how it's going to happen. Will somebody present a smoking gun nobody can dismiss in the form of an advanced building on the seafloor or in some jungle somewhere, perhaps? Or will it happen when some researchers manage to determine the age of already known megalithic structures and establish that they date way, way further back in time than textbooks tell us? Nobody knows, of course, but it's going to happen, and it's going to be magnificent. Love you guys. Thank you. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that like button and share the video with your friends. Please support the channel if you can. I appreciate all the support. You can become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or you can make a one-off donation via PayPal if you wish. All the links are in the description box below. Thank you.